Everything can be replaced, lives cannot be.
Severe weather destroys parts of Alabama overnight. Could those storms come here next?
I'm live at the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex, and this is where some Suncoast residents will be coming to cast their vote for the school referendum, what it could mean for Manatee and Sarasota County schools, as well as residents. That's straight ahead.
And fear in Austin, Texas after 4 explosions now. What investigators are looking for in the case of a serial bomber. Good Morning Suncoast starts right now.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
Good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
And I'm Ray Collins. Happening right now, severe weather moving across the southeast. Homes and cars in Alabama already destroyed by a line of storms. At least 3 tornadoes touched down in the northern part of the state. Look at one of the many homes with major roof damage. Tennis ball size hail destroyed cars. A homeowner describes what he saw and heard.
I started hearing just bombarding, like someone was throwing giant potato rocks at our house, and it was just over and over and over again. And I was looking out the window watching my cars get destroyed, and windows were shattering. Then we started hearing water leaking through the ceiling, and it was one thing after another.
He says most of his neighbors had similar damage. He's relieved his family and neighbors are safe today. Let's hit the local scene. It's the First Alert Morning. Here he is, folks, John Scalzi.
It is. That severe weather threat is going to shift a little further south today into the peninsula of Florida. But to start, and that'll happen a little later in the day, but to start off with, we have that fog situation around again this morning. But like I said yesterday, wind speeds have picked up, so it's not going to be quite as dense as it was yesterday. Still, it is vision limiting and could reduce some of your speeds across the area. Kind of patchy in nature, but nevertheless, it is around. We're looking right now at probably better than a mile visibility in most all locations as we go through the morning. Temperatures across the region generally holding in the low 70s this morning, so it's warm, humid, sticky start to the day. That is an atmosphere primed for shower and thunderstorm activity, and the Severe Storm Prediction Center has upped our chances for severe weather across the state of Florida. In fact, we now have across much of north central Florida a moderate risk of severe weather. You don't see that very often. So there's a good chance that some parts of especially north central Florida will see some issues later today with tornadoes possibly, but certainly gusty strong winds as well as the potential for some hail. Our area now has been upped from 5% risk of severe weather to about a 15% risk of severe weather. And that should occur, generally speaking, after about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Right now, everything is good on radar. Should be no problems with your morning commute. But as we head home, some of the showers that are already beginning in the Panhandle will be working their way closer to us. It is a first alert weather day. As we head into the afternoon, we can certainly expect to see good chances of showers and thunderstorms. And then as we head into the evening, a potential risk for severe weather. We'll detail that forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Checking the roads right now. A little build up there on 301 way up by Ellington as you drive away from the shopping mall there. Otherwise clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south into the northern half of Sarasota County. All right, we'll stop there. Oh, here we go. Okay, good. The University Parkway and the eastbound lane there about Whitfield. Be aware of that little congestion spot, otherwise pretty clear. And our final map to the south will show us a little blip there northbound on 41 as you travel from Venice toward Nokomis. Let's take a live look right now at a pretty spot, the Bradenton Riverwalk. Very peaceful there right now.
It is all calm out there this morning, nice and calm before our potential first alert weather day. A nice way to start the day out there this morning. We're going to get our traffic map some caffeine. I think that's going to be a good thing.
Yeah, good idea.
All right, well, the day is here. People who live in both Sarasota and Manatee counties are heading to the polls this morning. On the ballot, more taxes to fund public schools.
ABC's Marla Spence is at one voting location, the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex in Newtown. Marla, good morning.
Yeah, guys, in just a few hours, Sarasota and Manatee residents will be pulling into voting precincts just like this one to cast their vote and also their decision on whether Sarasota and Manatee County schools will be seeing extra funding for that school referendum. Now, both counties, Manatee and Sarasota, they're asking for a $1 million property tax that will generate $33 million for Manatee County schools and $56.5 million for Sarasota County schools. In Manatee County, the district is proposing the tax for the first time as for the Sarasota County. It's had the tax in place since 2002 and means if the tax is voted yes by the county, this would just be an extension, meaning taxpayers would see no change to their yearly taxes if the tax referendum is passed. Todd Bowden with the Sarasota County School District explains what this exactly means for property owners as well as students in the district.
A mill is $1 per thousand of assessed value. So if you're in a $200,000 assessed value, it would be $200 on an annual basis. We use that to support our students with an additional 30 minutes of instruction per day. That amounts to 18 extra days per year, or an additional year of instruction if our students are with us from K through 12.
Like Sarasota County, Manatee County would also add an additional 30 minutes of instructional time for their students. Additional money would also increase pay for Manatee County students. Coming up at 5:30, we're going to be telling you how this tax referendum will be assisting more initiatives for Sarasota and Manatee County schools. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thank you. Polls open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. next hour. We'll talk to the elections supervisor in Sarasota, Ron Turner. There's our app. You can find it in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast.
Well, Florida will soon start sharing voter information to make sure people aren't registered in other states. Governor Rick Scott signed a bill into law that allows the Department of State to share voter information with other states. Now, it also allows Florida to share driver's license information. So far, 23 states and the District of Columbia are on board for the partnership. It's going to be help combating voter fraud.
More than 1,000 people turned out last night for a discussion about affordable housing and education in Sarasota County. The night was sponsored by a group called SURE, or Sarasota United for Responsibility and Equity. It's an association of 19 area churches. Among those on hand, Sarasota County commissioners and school board members. Issues range from school suspensions to affordable housing.
This is the way that we respectfully, as a fuller community of people of faith and others who will be joining us tonight, to say that we stand by these issues and we want to see these just changes made in our community.
The event was held at Sarasota's Municipal Auditorium on the Bayfront.
Well, students who survived last month's shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School continue to make their voices heard. A group are headed to Harvard University to be a part of a panel to talk about gun control. Now, 6 students from Stoneman Douglas will be at the event. The students are going to be becoming advocates these days for stricter gun laws. Now, more than 1 million people all across the country are also expected to take part in the March for Our Lives rally this weekend in Washington, D.C., as well as other cities.
Some other students at Florida International University in Miami are back in class. Days after a deadly pedestrian bridge collapse, 6 people were killed when the span, including an 18-year-old father and also a businessman, all passed away. The collapse and the aftermath shook the student body.
Student, and it could have been any of us.
I was shocked. I didn't believe it happened when it did, but I mean, there we are.
Here we are. A moment of silence was held Monday at FIU to honor the victims, and a vigil is also planned for tomorrow. The investigation continues as to what caused the bridge to collapse. The first lawsuit was filed yesterday in Miami, the first of many that are expected.
Well, we're learning more now on just what happened during that Cirque du Soleil performance in Tampa over the weekend. Now, while he was performing an aerial straps number, including a new part of his routine he was trying out that night, longtime aerialist Jan Arnaud apparently lost his grip and fell onto the stage. He later died in the hospital. We're also starting to hear more from those who were in the audience that night and witnessed that fall.
And he looked like he hit his neck or his shoulder and laid there motionless, and the paramedics took him to the hospital.
When you hear it, when you heard it, when you saw it, you thought he'd roll into it, you thought he would recover from it, but it was bad.
The last performances of the show were, of course, canceled, and many of those with the show itself, including performers, were all sent home to be with their families before heading back out on the road with the show.
Today, hundreds of high school students from Sarasota and Manatee counties will attend the 2nd annual Construction Rodeo. The event will showcase information on careers in construction. More than 30 local businesses and speakers will be there. Last year, over 20 students were given apprenticeships for jobs after the event. The rodeo will take place at Sarasota Technical College from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Good to get kids thinking about their future careers.
That is right. It might change a couple times, kids, but you're going to find your way. We're here to tell you.
What was your first idea for a career?
Archaeologist.
Really?
It was. I wanted to be an archaeologist. I spent lots of time digging in my backyard.
Is that right?
Yes.
12-year-old newscaster.
Oh, see?
In training.
I don't know how these things happen.
Still ahead, First Alert traffic and new video of a dramatic rescue. We'll show you the moments before an officer risked his life to save a driver from a burning car.
And coming up a little later, a big setback in the world of self-driving cars. We're going to tell you why Uber has put the brakes on that program for now. But right now, we want to head and take a live look at Washington, D.C. out there this morning, where our favorite light right there on the second floor is going out there in that second floor kitchen this morning.
We have determined that is a kitchen there in the top right corner of the White House. Good reconnaissance by Stephanie.
Yes, thank you, Google.
Speaking of exhaustive research, here's more on today's weather from John Scalzi.
Well, it's going to be a busy day, no doubt about it. We are looking at many of the parameters being met to predict for severe weather today. So the confidence is kind of increasing that somewhere across the state of Florida there will be at least severe thunderstorms, if not tornadoes building. We have in our area about a 15% risk of severe weather. Not so much tornadoes, but mostly gusty winds and hail. And that rain chance goes up this afternoon from about 50% at 3 o'clock to about 80% during the evening hours. It'll be a muggy afternoon and there will be some patchy fog around, but the other thing we'll see is some breezy conditions building. So boaters, don't be caught by surprise. Small craft advisories up. Winds tonight 20 to 25 knots, making it rough with building seas 5 to 7 feet. Forecast in a minute.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, fishing, or biking and hiking. Or play the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy the flavors of the Black Belt. Book your adventure at our lodges or stay in the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Current conditions outside 71 degrees. We have a dew point of 70, and the south-southwest wind is breezy right now. Now, that's important, that breezy wind, because we have had some patchy fog out there that has been dense. But as those winds pick up, it should limit how dense that fog becomes and how long it lingers in a certain area. So, if you do encounter some patchy fog out there, some patchy dense fog possibly, it's not going to last long, and that it's going to lighten up as we progress through the morning very quickly because of those wind speeds. But still, it could be around. It could limit your morning commute time, so increase your morning commute time. So just watch for that. Otherwise, late day storms, that's the big news. That first alert weather day because of it. By this morning, 7 a.m., a little bit of patchy fog around, but not too terribly bad. Certainly not like yesterday. By 12 p.m., we're going to factor in that chance of showers at about 30%. And then by 3 p.m., that's going to jump up to about a 50% chance, if not better. And then as we head into the 7 p.m. time period, we're going to max out that rain chance as the frontal boundary is moving through our area at about 80%. So anywhere between 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., excellent chances of rain showers. And some of the storms that do build have the potential for becoming severe storms. And by that I mean winds gusty and perhaps in excess of 60 miles an hour with some of those storms that move through. We have a very strong low-level jet of air that could be incorporated in some of these thunderstorms and cause those gusty winds. And there's potential for some hail as well, so we'll watch for that. And you can't rule out the possibility of tornadoes, certainly across north-central Florida. We have the spinning area of low pressure, which again is going to produce another snow day for parts of the Northeast as we head into tomorrow, particularly as that low moves up the New England coastline. For us, the trailing cold front already producing a few scattered showers in the panhandle of the state. Now, these have not organized into anything significant yet, but as the day progresses and the front gets closer, we will see a line of showers develop, as I mentioned, some of which could be strong. But right now for the morning commute, should not be an issue with any kind of rain showers. So let's put the futurecast into motion. You can see those showers and thunderstorms beginning to build in north parts of Florida. And then as we head into the afternoon period, those storms begin to approach our area and move through, clearing out here by the mid to late evening period. And then they'll be gone. So they're going to come through in a pretty strong line between about 3 and 7 o'clock and then move through the area. Once they're gone, we'll have several days in a row of some very nice clear weather. And then what we'll notice is certainly the possibility of some gusty winds developing during the overnight. So the front moves through, showers and thunderstorms build, and then we get some pretty good storminess around our region as we head into tonight. And then clearing out tomorrow should be a nice day. So the storm outlook right now has been upped just a little bit by the Severe Storm Prediction Center, which is the agency of the U.S. government that gives us our forecasts for severe weather across the entire nation. It's located in Norman, Oklahoma, and has the most sophisticated team of meteorologists specializing in only severe storms, nothing else. And they have determined that the center part of the state of Florida is coming in with that 30% risk. They do have a chance at seeing some isolated tornadoes. Our threat of tornadoes much less. At about 15%, our chance of tornadoes is about 5%. We have a strong wind building. As I mentioned, small craft advisories are up starting this evening through tonight into tomorrow. These wind speeds are going to get really strong overnight tonight, boaters, so don't be caught by surprise as seas build from 5 to 7 feet. Choppy to rough conditions on bay and inland waters. Forecast looks like this. First alert weather day today. Daytime high about 77, but more importantly, on this first day of spring, you'll have about an 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms during the late afternoon into the evening hours. And some of the storms, as I mentioned, could be strong. Get your first alert weather app on your phone. Carry it around with you. Trace the radar. And we'll also, of course, be sending you updates throughout the afternoon as those storms begin to build. Tomorrow, another day, just sunshine and cool temperatures. Breezy for several days and cool as well with some nighttime lows in the 40s. As we get into the weekend, we start to warm up a little bit, so it should be pretty nice. By next week, we're back into the 80s. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside for your first alert traffic out there this morning. Not too much to see. A little bit of a slowdown right there on 70 as you get close to 301. And, of course, the bridges are starting to get busy already this morning if you're headed into Bradenton. And then in North Sarasota County, those roads are looking pretty decent. Not too much to see out there. No major congestion or anything like that. The roads are running pretty smooth these days. And if you're heading into South County, those roads are also looking pretty clear out there. No major bumps, nothing to see out there. At this time in the morning, 5:19, that is your First Alert traffic. Well, more questions this morning and more fear among residents that live in Austin, Texas, after yet another explosive device triggered in the area.
Police are now allowing neighbors to leave their homes. Reporter Jacqueline Powell has the story.
As hundreds of officers and federal agents have spent more than 24 hours investigating Sunday's tripwire explosion, people who live near the cul-de-sac where it happened say they can't rest either.
It's pretty spooky, yeah, no question about it.
Neighbors say they have a hard time understanding how someone could have set up the trap without being seen.
Is that corner of Donsong and Eagle Feather? It's like Grand Central Station here.
Liz Benigno and her son Joseph lived on Donsong Drive for many years. Today, they came back to check on family in the area. They say on a typical Sunday evening, this street is packed with kids, bikes, and people walking dogs.
Odd to me that something that advanced would be able to be set up that quickly while people were walking around and stuff like that.
Neighbors say everyone within a few blocks of the yard where the bomb went off has been questioned by federal agents.
Last night they came by at like 2 a.m. to they were looking through yards and stuff.
Many neighbors told us they've been asked which cars they own and which Wi-Fi account is theirs. Investigators have also gone door to door searching for every frame of security footage they can find.
They put the word out all day long for everybody. You know, if anybody at all in Travis Country, if you had a video, no matter what type it was, to let them know so they could come take a look.
The problem?
There's really not a lot.
Most people we talked to told us those who live here feel so safe they don't have security cameras. But neighbors are hopeful the few who do will be able to help lead investigators to the person who's caused chaos in their usually quaint subdivision.
It's reporter Jacqueline Powell. Right now, 2 are dead, 4 are injured there, and an arrest does not appear to be imminent.
Police in Pennsylvania are releasing video of this dramatic rescue. It involved one of their officers jumping in to actually help save a life. Now, there was a driver that got trapped under this burning vehicle in a church school's parking lot. Employees of the school, they were all able there. They're trying to help keep the fire under the control with extinguishers until police arrived. Then they helped police push the car over so the man eventually could get out and get to safety on that one. Tense moments on that one.
How did he get caught under the car that was burning?
I don't know if he tried to get out and got under there, but strange
Talk
story.
about a bad day.
Yeah. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, changing the way you shop. We are going to have more on Amazon's innovative new Grab and Go stores.
Plus, a seemingly innocent app your kids are downloading may put them at risk. We'll tell you which app to look out for when Good Morning Suncoast returns after this.
What if you had a medical emergency away from home?
My chest hurts. I can't breathe.
What you need is Mobile Help, America's premier mobile medical alert system. Most systems only work at home, but with Mobile Help, you get help outside the home with coverage nationwide on one of the largest cellular networks at the press of a button. Call the number on your screen for a free full-color brochure. We'll send you everything you need, including this base station, the patented mobile device, and the waterproof pendant and wrist button. You can also add the fall button that automatically detects falls and signals help. Call today and receive a risk-free 30-day trial. There is no equipment to buy and no long-term contract. For a limited time, you will also receive a free emergency key box with your plan purchase. Remember, Mobile Help keeps you safe coast to coast.
Call 1-800-916-8638. That's 1-800-916-8638.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Well, Violent storms hitting overnight in parts of the South. There are reports of tornado touchdowns and massive hail damaging homes and cars. Now, emergency shelters are open and thousands are left without power this morning. ABC's Candace Gibson has the latest.
Overnight, a severe weather outbreak in the South. This morning, several reports of possible powerful tornadoes striking northern Alabama. A lieutenant at the sheriff's office in Jacksonville, Alabama, describing the area as a war zone. The powerful winds damaging buildings on the campus of Jacksonville State University. The roof of this dorm now gone. This massive tree ripped from the ground, now leaning on the school's basketball arena. And this Dollar General torn apart. Large hail also causing severe damage. The chunks of ice destroying more than 200 cars at this Nissan dealership and nearly 400 cars at the nearby Chevy dealership.
All of these vehicles right at the moment's got damage. Damaged windshields, damaged hoods.
At the Coleman County Jail, debris scattered on the floor and holes are punched in the ceiling after hail tore through the building. Steve Quinn with our Alabama station is there.
Did get a chance to speak to Sheriff Matt Gentry a little bit ago. He tells us that none of the inmates inside of this jail were harmed. There were some vehicles outside in the parking lot that they used that were damaged.
In Atlanta, the rain and wind pounding city streets overnight, leaving plenty of power outages. The storm's also causing damage just outside the city following a tornado warning there.
And it's so dark out now, it's hard to really see, but it's pretty bad.
Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
Well, it is a complete game change when it comes to groceries and shopping. Amazon is releasing some new details now on their brand new Grab and Go stores.
ABC's Candace Gibson and Diane Macedo have the story in Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Amazon dishes on its Grab and Go store.
The cashierless store opened 2 months ago in Seattle, where you just grab your groceries and walk out. Your Amazon account is then charged.
So the company says customers are returning regularly, but Amazon admits customers often ask, is it really okay to just leave? The company is not discussing plans to expand.
And Macy's is now jumping on the self-serve bandwagon with an upgraded app allowing customers to bypass the sales clerk.
The app will give customers the option of scanning and paying for their products with their smartphones. And back to Amazon, Jeff Bezos has a new best friend. You may have seen Boston Dynamics Spot Mini, a dog-like robot that can open doors.
Well, Bezos got a chance to take the Spot Mini for a walk at a robotics conference.
And Bezos also played the bottle flip game against a robot.
They both weren't all that good at it.
No, neither are we. Those are your Tech Bites.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass.
At Safelite Auto Glass, we know that when you're spending time with the grandkids, every minute counts. And you don't have time for a cracked windshield. That's why at Safelite, we'll show you exactly when we'll be there with a replacement you can trust. Hold on, sir.
Looks great.
Thanks for choosing Safelite.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Saving you time so you can keep saving the world.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Allergies with sinus congestion and pressure? You won't find relief here. Go to the pharmacy counter for powerful Claritin D. While the leading allergy spray relieves 6 symptoms, Claritin D relieves 8, including sinus congestion and pressure. Claritin D relieves more.
Budget meeting.
Sweet.
You compare last quarter to this quarter.
It's no wonder everything seems a little better with the creamy taste of Philly. Made with fresh milk and real cream. It must be the Philly.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
We were cooped up, all sitting in each other's laps, but at least we were safe.
Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, all hit hard by overnight storms. A look at the damage all across the southeast this morning.
I'm live at the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex, and this is where some residents that live on the Suncoast and here in Sarasota will be coming to cast their vote on the school referendum. What it could mean for Sarasota County schools is straight ahead.
And why the younger brother of the accused Florida school shooter is behind bars this morning. Good Morning Suncoast begins right now.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Welcome back and welcome to Tuesday morning. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. First day of spring, and if you have allergies, you can feel it right now.
It is in the air, the pollen especially. You found it. We're starting to find it inside our house more. You guys?
Inside my nose?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Let's get to the severe weather right now across the area.
All right, happening right now. It is not something that anyone wants to wake up to. Many residents in Alabama, they're going to be cleaning up damages for a while. There was all kinds of damage left across Alabama last night after a round of severe weather swept through that area. Now, luckily, no major injuries have been reported. Let's check in right now with John Scalzi for how these storms might be affecting us right here in the Suncoast.
Well, you've got kind of two little systems just moving off the mid-Atlantic coastline that are going to kind of coalesce and draw a cold front through here that's going to really change our weather remarkably over the next 24 hours. We're going to start the morning off with a little bit of that patchy fog. As you head out the door, you can certainly feel the humidity and the moisture, the haze that's in the air due to those high dew point values and the amount of water vapor that's contained within our atmosphere. We've had some periods from the Cortez Bridge of some foggy conditions, but the difference between this morning and yesterday morning is that the wind speeds are picking up, and so as they do that, they tend to mix away the fog, so it's probably not going to be as thick this morning as it was yesterday. And it won't be nearly as long in its duration. So we'll be watching those wind speeds picking up. Right now, we do have some thicker fog near the coast, so it could slow your morning commute just a little bit. Watch for that. Otherwise, temperatures mild across the region. As we head into the afternoon, though, that's the big thing. That's when our severe weather risk is going to increase. It has been increasing over the last 24 hours. It now stands at about 15% for some strong storms moving through the area later in the afternoon and into the evening. We'll detail that forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Construction ongoing right now at I-75 and State Road 64. Be aware of that ongoing state project. Otherwise clear in Manatee County. Checking farther south in the upper half of Sarasota County. Nothing to report right now in that half, and lower Sarasota County looks like we can't get to it right now. 5:34 right now on your Tuesday.
Well, polling places on the Suncoast are expected to be busy today, but one place not so much busy, the Bradenton Riverwalk. It is nice and quiet out there this morning. Not too much going on right now. Just a nice quiet morning before we start all the weather for the day.
Pretty right now, but as John said, by the afternoon, between 3 and 7, some heavy weather coming through. 80% chance of rain, so enjoy this peaceful time as we can right now. Let's go to our top story.
That is right. It is Election Day, and if you live in Manatee or Sarasota County, it is your day to vote yes or no on more money for local schools.
Marla Spence is live at one polling place in Newtown. Marla, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Starting this morning at 7 o'clock, all precincts across Manatee and Sarasota counties will be opening at 7 o'clock this morning for people who live in both counties. They'll be coming out to cast their vote and also decide the future of the school referendum. That could mean what that could mean is additional money for schools in Manatee and Sarasota counties, and that's where people will be coming out to cast their votes to precincts just like this one right behind me. Now, both counties, they're asking for a $1 million property tax that will generate $33 million for Manatee County schools and $56.5 million for Sarasota County schools. In Manatee County, the district is proposing the tax for the first time. As for Sarasota County, it's had the tax in place since 2002. Todd Bowden with Sarasota County School District tells ABC7 the tax will allow students to have an additional 30 minutes of instructional time in the classroom, which means 18 extra days a year.
Include guidance counselors, arts teachers, and many of our safety and security initiatives are funded with referendum dollars.
Just like Sarasota County, Manatee County is proposing the same. They say the money will go to additional teachers as well as more security and other items that will be placed on for Manatee County. We'll be telling you coming up at 6 o'clock. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you, Marla. She'll be live all morning with those updates. Now, the younger brother of accused Florida school shooter Nicholas Cruz has been arrested for trespassing at the same school. Now, Zachary Cruz was arrested outside Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland yesterday afternoon. According to an affidavit, the 18-year-old had been told to stay away from that school, but he told officers that he went there anyway to reflect on the tragedy and to, quote, soak it in. Now, after the shooting, Zachary Cruz said that he bullied his older brother and that he now regrets it.
Uber is now pulling self-driving cars from the road after a pedestrian was struck and killed in Arizona. Sunday night, a self-driving Uber SUV struck a woman walking outside a crosswalk in Tempe. Police said the vehicle was in a self-driving mode, even though there was an operator behind the wheel.
Preliminary investigation showed that the vehicle was traveling at approximately 40 miles an hour. Our investigation did not show at this time that there were significant signs of the vehicle slowing down.
In the meantime, Uber suspended all other self-driving cars in cities like Phoenix, Pittsburgh, and Toronto. Right now, a trending app is causing some concern after parents learned a simple search can pull up some inappropriate content. The app is called Musical.ly. It allows users to create and search short music videos of those expressing themselves through dance, comedy, and lip syncing. The problem is a simple word search like skinny or hot can bring up disturbing videos that kids could be exposed to.
They can sit there and press one button and not even mean to, and then they're exposed to stuff that they've never seen before.
Just be aware of what they're looking at, the type of apps they download, and the type of websites they visit. You know, just stay involved in what's going on.
If kids come across inappropriate content, you can report it online.
Well, it is postponed. The Sarasota County Area Transit was supposed to be celebrating its one-year anniversary of the Siesta Key Breeze trolley later on today, but it has been postponed due to that potential of bad weather. They're going to be announcing a new date in the future. It's going to be celebrating the milestone of 250,000 passengers.
5:39 right now, still ahead, first alert traffic, and we've all been looking forward to it. Today is the first day of spring, but could that also mean sniffles?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
I can confirm that already. The allergy relief you and I need to know about.
And one doctor who is keeping a special promise to his patient. Wait till you see what he dressed up as. But first, right now, let's head over to John Scalzi and get our first look again at the First Alert weather today.
So we're not looking at much in the way of rainfall across our area currently, but you can see these lines of showers beginning to develop back to the north. That's the beginning of a cold front that will be moving through our area, increasing our rain chances through the day. By 7 a.m., we still have some of that hazy, patchy fog around. Not as dense as yesterday, but still vision limiting. And then as we get into the noontime hour, we'll factor in about a 30% chance of showers, but that goes up. Between 3 and 7 o'clock, our rain chances go up from 50% to 80%. Some of those storms could be strong or severe. Details in a minute.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
71-degree air temperature. Quiet conditions out there currently, but there is a little bit of patchy fog and some haze around. Could limit visibilities in some locations, but a big difference between today and yesterday is that wind speed, now south-southwest at about 15, kind of stirring up the atmosphere and limiting the density of the fog that forms. Across the day today, a big change coming up as we head into the first day of spring. We are looking at a morning temperature that's about 70 degrees and a pretty quiet weather out there right now, except for that little bit of patchy fog. As we head into the noontime hour, 12:15 by the way is spring, we'll watch a 30% chance of showers begin to build as that frontal boundary kind of gets a little bit closer to us along the coastline. By 3 p.m., I think we'll have some storms around. I think they'll start in Manatee County and start to spread through the area and then down toward Charlotte County. Rain chance at 3 p.m. about 50% for some isolated showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two. By the time we get to 7 p.m., our rain chance is up there at about 80%, and we will have between 3 and 7 o'clock seen some showers and thunderstorms that are stronger, producing some gusty winds perhaps, and maybe even some small hail today. There is a outside chance at tornado formation, but it's small compared to what they'll experience in north central Florida, I think. So we'll wait for that. We'll watch for that. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Winds out of the southwest, breezy today, gusty, in fact. Boaters, don't be caught by surprise. Could be a real situation a little bit later tonight as seas turn rough. Temperatures generally in the low 70s. Got a little bit of patchy fog, particularly along the coast. That fog gives way to cloud cover. And then as we head into the noontime hour, maybe an isolated shower or two. Winds start to pick up just a little bit. As we head into the 4 o'clock hour, much better chance of some storms. Some of them could be strong. Could see some water spouts, could see isolated tornadoes, but more than likely what you'll notice is gusty winds contained within some of these thunderstorms. And there we have a chance of seeing some 40 to 60 mile an hour gusts, which could do some damage. I mean, that can, hurt a pool cage, or that could certainly do some damage by throwing some garbage can lids about, or your porch umbrella. If you haven't rolled that down, you probably should secure that. And just get ready for some of these strong gusty winds that'll be around. Torrential downpours of rain, but brief because these are fast-moving storms. Then as we head into the 7 o'clock hour, after all that storminess between about 3 and 7, we'll start to see those storms exiting the area, and then the winds pick up significantly to about a 20 to 25 mile per hour sustained wind during the overnight, with some gusts perhaps even higher. So really rough conditions out there on our seas. This, building into a nor'easter, heads off to the north and to the east as this line of showers approaches our area a little later in the day. But your morning commute looks pretty good right now. Again, the Storm Prediction Center has upped the chance of severe weather in north central Florida from about Jacksonville down to, we'll call it St. Petersburg, to about 30%. In our area, they have upped the chance of severe weather, particularly those gusty winds and hail-producing thunderstorms, from about 5% to 15%. So the threat level increasing, but still not as bad as it could be. Certainly what we see to the north of us, it is a moderate risk of severe weather, is something you don't see very often in the state of Florida. So confidence is building in some of those stronger storms moving into the area later on. Southwest wind coming in at about 20, increasing to 20 to 25 knots near the coast in the evening. Rough conditions on bay and inland waters. Small craft advisory up, rip current advisory up. You get the picture. 80% chance of storminess today on this first day of spring. It's a first alert weather day. We'll be updating you on our weather app. You should have that on your phone. And of course, as we progress through the day, updating you with alerts in case anything does develop. Tomorrow, much different day. Breezy, sunny, cooler for several days in a row. Then as we get into the weekend, we start to see temperatures moderate a bit. Back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Let's take a look outside. Your first alert traffic out there this morning. The roads are starting to get a little busy, especially if you're coming into the Bradenton area over those bridges. Starting to see some congestion building up in those areas as well. And also, if you're heading into, if you're heading into Sarasota, you're going to start seeing some of the breakdown right there around State Road 70 and 301. That's starting to get a little bit busy. In Sarasota itself, in Sarasota County, the roads aren't looking too bad. A little slowdown right there on 41 southbound. And then if you're heading farther south, not too much to see down there. You're going to see mostly clear roads around this time of the morning. Still pretty quiet out there so far. That is a look at your first alert traffic. In this hour's Health Smart, the start of spring means sniffling and sneezing for many of us right here at this desk.
No names. My Kleenex box is empty now.
Yes.
About 1 of every 7 of us have seasonal allergies. Dr. David Lang worked on a study that looked at which treatment options are most effective and gives us the most relief.
Is it best for initial treatment to take an intranasal steroid alone or an intranasal steroid combined with a non-sedating antihistamine? And the evidence indicates that an intranasal steroid alone is the best option.
Not for me. Dr. Lang says steroid nasal sprays are safe and widely used, but if you start to get nosebleeds, you should stop using them and contact your doctor.
A new study shows that kids are now more likely to draw a woman when it comes to a certain profession. For 50 years, researchers have asked students up to 12th grade to draw a scientist. Between 1966 and 1977, only 1% of the pictures were of a female scientist. But from 1985 to 2016, yes, that number has jumped to 28%. Researchers at Northwestern University say that until kids begin grade school, they're equally likely to draw men or women, but actually become less likely to draw women as they get older. A doctor in Illinois makes good on a promise that he made to one of his young patients, so might be a Star Wars fan. When 15-year-old Austin Eggleston was placed on a heart transplant list nearly 5 months ago, his doctor made him a deal. The doctor promised the teen, who is also a diehard Star Wars fan, that when a heart became available, he would deliver the good news wearing a Chewbacca costume. Sure enough, the doctor made good on his promise over the weekend. It's actually a pretty good costume, too, I'm not gonna lie.
We got a heart. Do we seriously have a heart?
We're going to need to work on that impression a little bit there, Doctor. Austin's family says he has already received the new heart. He is recovering well from that surgery. Good news out there this morning.
That's great for that little boy, and that's funny the doctor followed up on that.
I love that. I mean, you think about how much of their life involves, you know, sickness and dealing with all that stuff. It's nice to have some joy out there.
Yep. We'll update the day's top local news headlines after this. Stay with us, but first, here is a peek outside our window, and as you see, there's plenty of fog right now. It is a first alert morning. Later on today between 3 and 7, possibility of severe weather. Possibility, that is. It is the first day of spring. God bless you, 5:51. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast.
If you're looking for the perfect trip that allows you to spend quality time with the family, then discover the great outdoors on an Alabama Black Belt adventure. Create unforgettable memories while hunting, canoeing, camping, and more. Or challenge yourself on Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, now celebrating 25 years. And while you're here, enjoy a Deep South dining experience. Book your adventure in one of our members' lodges or stay at the Renaissance Montgomery Hotel and Spa. Start planning an Alabama Black Belt adventure today.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. It's gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Here's today's Job of the Day. ABC7 is seeking an assistant news director to guide daily operations. Minimum 3 years newsroom management experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job of the day to apply.
Here are some of the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
A Sarasota City Commissioner gave the city manager poor grades in his annual review. Hagan Brody says that Tom Barwin is too defensive. Other commissioners gave him high marks, enabling a 3% raise beyond Barwin's current salary of $208,000.
Plus, the younger brother of the accused Florida school shooter was arrested for trespassing outside Stoneman Douglas High School yesterday. He told officers he was there to reflect on the tragedy and, quote, soak it in. He's been ordered to stay away.
And it is voting day today across the Suncoast. People in Sarasota and Manatee counties will decide if they want to pay about $220 more per year for the public schools.
And coming up in the next hour, FLOTUS First Lady Melania Trump. She has a big meeting with some of the most important online owners, the bigwigs from some online and social media companies today. We're going to tell you what is on that agenda and how it will affect your kids. We're going to have that for you next hour.
Also next hour, we're going to talk to the Sarasota County Elections Supervisor, Ron Turner. Will be in studio. We'll talk to him about the voting today and also the fact that Sarasota County is asking voters to renew a surtax on schools. This is Manatee County's first time asking to add about $220 for the average homeowner to pay for education.
That is correct. We've got Marlo Spence. She is live out there at one of the polling locations. And of course, John Scalzi is here as a First Alert weather day today. He's going to have that latest update for you in the next hour. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast on ABC7.